Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went mango when we built the maneuver gear sword from Attack on Titan. And if you missed that build, we'll include the link in the description below to our channel's homepage so you can go over there and check out maneuver gear or any of the other super cool builds we have there. But for this build, we're going to go video games. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. Wow, check it out. That's right. It's the RE-45 Auto from Titanfall. Holy smokes, look at that. Woo, crazy. This thing has tons of layers, tons of geometric angles, tons of recesses where you can see through to another layer. Down here in the handle, lots of layering up around the whole thing. This thing is a puzzle, and there's a lot of work in here, but it's totally doable. Looks like it's old, distressed, dirty, grunged up metal, a heavy metal weapon. This thing is so cool. In this episode, making an EVA foam RE-45 Auto Part 1, we're going to begin going step by step, and there's a lot of steps through how to make this bad boy. And if you want to build along with us, we have a template, so we'll include the link in the description below to our storefront, so you can go grab a template if you want, or not, that's cool. Wow, check that out, super cool. All right, that's it, enough of me yapping. If you're ready to hit it, let's make something. All right, here we go. We're going to start off building the bulk of our piece with this 18mm piece of foam. We're going to knock this out on the bandsaw real quick. All right, there we go. There's our 18mm piece. Got the little notch cut out of it. Now we're going to come in with these 6mm pieces, and they're going to go on both sides of this. All right, so we're going to come in here. We're going to cut these shapes out. Alright, now what we're going to do for that round corner is we're going to come in with a brass tube, and now we can go from this edge of our circle right through here. Alright, beautiful. Poke out our round corners. Now we're going to come in from the edge of that circle. All right, there we go. We've got them both cut out. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing these up here, and we're going to be attaching them flush on the bottom 3 sides, just like actually flush on all 4 sides. And we're going to be sandwiching it on both pieces, so we're going to have this cool little overhang right here on both sides. But what we're going to do is we're going to bevel the inside of this. Alright, now when we stick these down, the edge is going to look a little thinner from the back, which is what we wanted. Okay, now what we're going to do before we stick this down is we drew this line right here and right here. Okay, so we're going to bevel. We're going to bevel all the way around here with the Dremel, and we're going to stop right when we get to these dotted lines. Okay? All right, there we go. We've got it beveled. Now when we come in and we stick this down, we're going to have these nice little beveled areas down in here in the handle. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that to this side also. All right, there we go. Now you know the drill. Let both sides dry, then after they dry, they can make contact. We're going to line up our corner back here and back here. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to lay this down right at the top. Get her. All right, there we go. We've got some recessed windows and some beveled edges on both sides. Doesn't look like much right now, but now it's going to. All right, here we go. Now we're going to bring in our template for where we're going to be cutting. Okay, there's our shape right there, okay? We're going to move over to the bandsaw and the scroll saw, and we're going to knock that out. That's nice. All right, now we're going to poke a hole through here. All right, there we go. We got a little hole through there so we can feed our scroll saw blade through there and cut out our trigger area. All right, there we go. Got our trigger cut out. It's a little bit rough, but we're going to be coming in with the Dremel and cleaning it up. Look at that. All right, we've got our dust mask on. We're going to come in and we're going to start shaping this. Now, we started to bevel these insides and we stopped right here because we wanted to wait till this was cut off. Now we can continue. All right, there we go. We've got our handle all shaped. Oh, that's cool. We got rounded edges everywhere. We got these cool bevels in here. All right. Nice. Now we're going to come in with our 220 sanding stick. Okay, now what we did was we transferred this pattern around the front of the handle, around this side, and around the back of the handle, and these two little squares. All right, so we're going to come in with our X-Acto knife, and we are going to start right here, break the surface. All right, there we go. Now we're going to come in and we're going to do our little square detail from all right, now what we're going to do is we're going to seal this with our heat gun, and then we're going to put extra heat on these knife marks we just made to separate the creases. Okay, now we're going to hit our lines. All right, there we go. Check it out. We got that little crease drawn through there all the way around. These little square ones here, and the whole thing's tightened up. That is pretty cool. Okay, now we're going to put some of the side details on. This is a 3mm piece. There we go, look at that. Pretty sweet. Now let's do this one. Set right there. All right, there we go, on both sides. All right, now we have these lines drawn in here on both sides. We're going to do the exacto cut like we did on the last piece. All right, there we go. Now we're going to seal this piece of foam and hit the lines extra hard to open them up. Okay, now we're going to hit the lines extra hard. All right, there we go. Check it out. Nice. Got our little lines in there on both sides. Okay, now we're going to come in with our skinny little Dremel bit. We're going to make a couple rivet marks here. All right, there we go. Check it out. Cool little rivet marks in there. Nice. All right, now we're going to use this 3mm foam that we have sitting here, and we're going to poke out a couple holes. There we go. A little bit of super glue down there. All right, there we go. Got the cool little button down in there. All right, now we're going to do the clip that goes into the bottom of the handle right here. That's going to be made up of a 24, a 12, some 2mm, and an 18mm. All right, so we're going to go ahead first. We're going to cut the 12 and the 18mm out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go, the 12 and the 18. All right, now what we're going to do is this, okay? See these lines we have drawn on here? We're going to cut these on a bevel, right? And we're going to transfer those same lines over to the other side. All right, there we go. Now we've got the lines on both sides. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the bandsaw and we're going to tip the table on an angle and we're going to cut these edges off. All right, here it is right here. See that little pattern on there? That angle right there is the angle we want to match the table up to on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. Check it out. We've got the edges cut off. Now we're going to trim up our little frays that happen on the bottom edge. Get it flush at the top and flush at the bottom. It's really all right, check that out. That's nice. Okay, now we're going to come in here with these two pieces, two different 2mm pieces. There we go. We're going to cut around the outside of this, just outside of our little window. Cool, a lot of geometric jazz going on there. All right, now we're going to come in with this 24mm piece and we're going to knock this out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. Nice, look at that. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing we just did here. We're going to tip our table and we're going to cut some angled cuts off of here. Let's go. We're going to tip our table and we are going to make these cuts on both sides. All right, there we go. Check it out. We got that nice beveled edge around it on both sides. That's pretty cool. Now, all right, there we go. Look at that. That is cool. That is pretty darn cool. I'm liking that. Very nice. Love those little rivets. All right, now we've got our wood burner heated up. Let's make sure it's hot. Oh yeah, it's hot. Go down inside our little rivet here. Just like that. There we go, look at that. All right, now we're gonna come in with this. We've got 3 marks made. All right, we're gonna go in and out at the same speed. Right there. Right there. And right there. Same speed and same depth. There we go. See that? Because it's a wood burner, if you go faster or slower or more deep or less deep, the size of the hole will vary. So we went in the same depth and the same speed, and we've got a consistent hole there for all 6 of those. All right. All right, there we go. Got our clip in there. That looks pretty darn cool. All right, here we go. We got this little tiny piece. It's a 4mm. Now we'll stand our knife up so we can pivot around this tight little corner on the inside. And then we're going to go right through the whole piece like that. There you go. All right, we're going to do a couple more little rivets here at the back. All right, there we go. 2 on the back here and 2 on the back here. All right, now we drew just a little pattern here, a little checkerboard. Every one of those little crosses, we're going to put another little dot with our wood burner. And we're going to do... All right, perfect. There we go. All right, now we're going to line up some little rivets back here. So we've got a leftover piece of 3mm foam and our brass tube. That's the size we want. We got to do 14 of these things. Put a super glue puddle down. We're going to sit on the bottom line and lined up with that dot, just like that. Now we're just going to come in one at a time, and we're going to line up with the next dot. All right, nice. Okay, now we're going to do 14 more for this side. All right, now we've got a little piece of 2mm foam, these little details here. We're going to come through with our X-Acto knife, and we're going to slightly just break the surface. Definitely don't want to go deep because we're on thin 2mm foam. We're just scoring it. That's it. All right, perfect. Now we're going to come through here. We're going to stand our knife up. All right, there we go. There's 2. Now we're going to bring that in right there. And we're going to stick it down. All right, now we're going to hit these with some heat. Open up those creases. All right, nice. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at those little things. Okay, now we're going to begin doing the nozzle end of this contraption here. So we're going to come in with this super thick 2-inch foam. That's 48mm, and a 12mm piece, and a small 12. All right. All right, there we go. Now, while we're waiting for that to dry, we're going to knock this out. Stick this down right there. All right, 2.5 inches. Now we're going to go over to the bandsaw and knock that out. All right, there we go. That's our first cut. Now we're going to come in and do our side cut. All right, now this is going to come in here. All right, there we go. Sweet. Now, for a third cut. Just like that. There. Okay, there we go. Check it out. All right, there's our side cut. There's our front cut with our angles, and you can see it on all the sides. That is really tight. And now... All right, there we go. Complex looking little part there, but super easy. All right, now let's get some of these little frays off around the edges. You pick those up on the bandsaw. just like that. All right. All right, there we go. Nice flush cut on the front. Now let's come in here with this little 4mm detail here. All this is part of our barrel. All right. With the little angled cuts on the end. Okay, now we've got this piece that we cut out. We've got our marks made on here. Every place where there's a little tick mark is where we're going to put a hole. Okay, and we're going to come in with our wood burner. All right, now we're going to go in and pull out, and it's going to leave a black mark on the tip of our wood burner. So we know that's exactly how far we want to go into every hole. Same speed, same depth. Okay, so we're going to come in. Just like that. Actually, we can go in deeper. Right there, just like that. Perfect. We got our holes in there. Let's pull this back. And now we're tight. All right, there we go. We're tight down here along the top, and we're tight here along the sides. That's put some. All right. Okay, now we're coming in with this little 10mm piece. Right here. Do our angled cut. So that slide it in. All right, there we go. Look at that. That's beautiful. Love that. Love it. All right, so like I said, we might come in with some quick seal and put a little bit in these gaps just to hide it over so you can't see it. That's pretty sharp though, man. I'm liking that. Let's see if maybe we can achieve that with our Dremel. All right, there we go. Ooh, that's pretty darn smooth right there. That's not bad. And once we seal this, you probably won't see much of that at all. All right, there we go. 2 rivets there and 2 there. That's looking pretty good. Okay, now we're going to come in with our heat gun and we're going to seal this whole end piece because all this is raw foam. Tightened up a little bit. That's really cool. Love that. All right, we're going to tackle these simple details that are going to go on the front of the barrel, 3mm and 4mm. Here's our 4 pieces. There's the corners drawn out on those 3, and there's the 4th one. Real. All right, there. Now we've got this 4mm piece. We're going to use our brass tubes for that one. Right. All right, there we go. Now we're going to come in with this big one. Nice, look at that. Smooth it all out. All right, there we go. Now we're going to come in. All right. Now what we can do is we can come right in here where we drew our pieces, And we can put the super glue right there in that space, and the foam squeegee puts it down perfectly. We want to make sure that we line the edge up flush on both sides right there. All right, there we go. Check that out. That is pretty cool. All right, now we're going to do our little bottom section that's going to go right down in here. And we've got two 4mm pieces and two 24s. All right, we're going to do multiple cuts on here. So first, let's go over to the bandsaw and knock these out. All right, there we go. There's our two 24s. Now, before we do our second cut, we're going to come in and we're going to cut these 4mm pieces out. All right, there we go. All right, we've got our little side walls here. Now that we've got these stuck down here, now is when we want to come in and do our cut. Right there. All right, there we go. There's our cool little recessed area. We just cut that out. Now get our angle cut on here, just like that. Like that. And like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to send this through the bandsaw, but we're going to tip our table on that angle right there so that we can cut the sides off. All right, there we go. Check it out. See how we've got that little bevel on both sides? Right up against our back plate like that. There we go. We got it tight up against the back and tight on the bottom. With our piece right there and right there. Okay, now we're stuck down. We're in great shape. Look at that. Okay, now this is not attached. We could probably leave it alone because it's really tight in there, but what we want to do is we want to come in with some super glue. We're going to peel this back. We're going to run a bead of super glue right down there along the inside, and then we're going to come in with our little foam squeegee and smooth it out in there so it's covered really good in there, just like that. Then we can lay this down and it's going to stick. Now the reason we didn't use contact cement on that is that would have been a really snug fit, and you know what we've seen before, you can't slide a piece of foam that's contact cemented up alongside of another piece of foam that's contact cemented because you won't be able to slip it in there, it'll stick. So that's why we didn't cement the inside of these flaps. We left it open so we can come in and do exactly what we're doing right here. We can peel it up and now we know it's stuck. All right, there we go. Look at that. Very cool. Very cool. Woo, man. Holy cow, that was a lot of work. We got most of the whole thing knocked out. Most of it. Lot left to go though. But you just saw it, all our usual techniques. Cutting carefully, laying down carefully, then cutting out. A lot of recesses, a lot of rounding edges off with the Dremel. Our usual stuff, totally doable. Lots of work so far. That's it. Nothing much to say. You saw it. That concludes making an EVA foam RE-45 Auto Part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.